We have an enormous matchup this week with a team that's been flying the whole first half of this season. They've been playing great football and ran into a very difficult situation last week in New Orleans. Very understandable. As good as the Saints are playing, you can see why that was a tough one. But the Rams are playing great ball, and they're doing it in a variety of ways. They're running the football well. The quarterback is on fire. The receivers are hot. They're protecting them. Defensively, they cause you all kinds of problems. They've got highlight guys all over the field. And so this is a really difficult challenge. College looked like it's been rocking, so there's been a lot of people showing up at the Coliseum, and so that can make it hard too. So we're up against it. We got to play great football, and we do that by practicing really well this week and jumping at the challenge, and that's what we're going to do.
You mentioned playing great football. You talked about some of the mistakes in this past game and also at the end of the game against the Rams. Just how important against an opponent like this is.
Yeah, you can't give these guys anything. You know, you have to take everything, and everything's important. Every aspect of it. Their kicking game is really good too, and we have great respect for the way that they put that together with all of the varieties of things that they've done over the past and can do now. So there's no room for error.
Rams game when you ran like you did, what was the key to the rush game?
It's the commitment to it. You know, Greg is coming back to it and believing in it and keep going. You know, you don't when you are committed to the running game like we are, you don't get big runs all the time. You have to stay with it and keep hammering at it and make the space and make the yards and finish the plays and convert your third down so that you get extra chances to keep running it. So it's about commitment.
Pfluger said after the game that the Rams defense didn't want to deal with all that rushing. Did you notice that?
I don't know anything about him saying that.
How well did DJ play in that game, though?
At this point, I can't tell you how much he stood out, but he's been a factor whenever he's in there. You know, he's got some difficult guys to block. He's got one of the best players in the NFL that he's going to have to work against, and Aaron Donald and Sue's right next to him. So it's a very difficult matchup.
Chris Carson practiced this week?
We're going to hold him out today. I'll let you know tomorrow.
In his position and the fact that he's been in the offense a while, he could not practice all week and still play, right? It's not like
Who are we talking about? DJ
Carson, or both, but Carson.
Well, you got me. You got both of them. It depends on the week. It depends how it's going. Depends how he looks and all that. He certainly could play. We've got plenty of guys to go to. You know, we don't have to just rely on one guy right now. And so if he's not, you know, making it through the week and looking really good, and we clear him for the game, then we would operate accordingly with that.
How about Bradley McDougald? What's his status?
He's going to miss today. We're going to hold him out for a little bit.
What's your confidence when you get beyond, Frank? What's your confidence in the pass rush, and what do you need from those other guys as far as creating?
Yeah, we need good teamwork, really. We need our guys to work together. And Jay Reed has done a nice job being a factor. You know, he's had more production than he ever has before to midpoint here. So we're counting on him to continue to cause problems. But we need to work together. It's gaming it up and stunting the way we need to make our space and all that. Deion Jordan brings it, and Jacob Martin has been really flashy. He's been a factor. So we're looking for those guys to continue to just create issues, with the pass protection, and a lot of that, but it's working together though.
Looking back on the Charger game Sunday, the last drive for you guys, is there anything you would have done differently from a clock management perspective or maybe a coaching perspective there at the end? Anything that stood out to you?
There was a play in there when we checked the ball down. I would like to work the ball to the sidelines to get the clock stopped. There was a play in there. We rarely have missed that opportunity, but that happened. Other than that, just don't respond to the flinch on the goal line and score right there. Knock it in and take it to the next level. But there was one play.
What do you need to see from Penny for him to get more involved in the
He needs to just be more involved. I think he just needs to just keep getting attempts and get out there and play. Just get accustomed to everything that's going on around him. He big volume player, a lot of plays, a lot of carries when he played. He's getting spot plays, and it's difficult just to go ahead and make that commitment at this time because we have other guys that have been really effective as well. So we're just bringing him along and hoping that we can acclimate him and see him at his best. He's got a lot to offer us that we know of, and so it's just going to be a matter of time.
What
What, in your view, what's been his progress since he first got here to the player he is now? What have you kind of seen from him over this span since you got him?
Well, he showed us a bunch of juice and spark, when he was before he got hurt, and then the month that he missed in there seemed to set us back a little bit, and we were so close to the season that it really wasn't the time to go back to camp and develop him. He had to just kind of jump in with us, and it took him a while to get back going again. So I think he's got a little bit of a stuttered background, to get started for this season, and it was just unfortunate, that he didn't get more action. He didn't get enough activity in the preseason.
Can CJ Prosise still be a factor in the
Yes,
comeback?
yes. CJ's ready to go. He's dying to play. He's frustrated by not being able to play. He's healthy and he's talented, So it's just a matter of getting the slots right so that we can get him on the field on game day. But I love what CJ can do, and so we feel like we have a lot of depth, and we're not, dependent on just one guy playing. We've loved the way Chris has played, but we got other guys that can go too, and so we'll see what happens this week.
When Chris couldn't play against Arizona, you favored Mike as the lead guy over Rashad. Has Rashad developed enough to maybe be a lead guy now if Chris can't?
Yeah, we just got to get him out there. He just needs more turns, Mike has been very versatile in the throwing game, all the styles of runs. He's just been really good at it and been very effective. So we're just going with what looks right. It has nothing to do with where you got picked or where you came from. Just waiting for the opportunities to present itself so the guys can show what they can do. That's not just a running back spot. That's all their spots.
Why do you think it's been so hard for CJ to stay healthy?
No, I don't have an answer to that one. But he's been healthy for some time now, so he just hasn't had his chance to get back in. But the strange injury to get, we never even heard of whatever that injury was. He broke his shoulder blade. I've never heard of that injury before. That came on the heels of I think it was a groin and a hammy, and and he finally got back and then got pounded and got hurt. So he's had some unusual things. So, but he's in good shape now. He's practicing every day. He looks really good. He's ready to go.
What is DJ Pfluger's status then?
We're going to rest him today.
You mentioned Deion Jordan. Have you seen him trending in the right direction the last 2 games?
Yeah, and what's really helping him is he's staying healthy. He's feeling strong, and he's getting his his rhythm, and he's a very aggressive player. Plays tough, has given really good effort throughout. So we're just counting on him. I still see him as a very young player, inexperienced player even. He might not think that, but just in his time playing and really getting acclimated to the game and all, he has not had, much like the CJ kind of background, he has not had a lot of steady play there that he can build from. But he's starting to get that now that he's been together and been able to stay out there. So I think he'll improve. I think he's a guy that has a much higher ceiling than we're seeing right now. And the more we give him out there, the more he's going to do well.
You had Joey Hunt behind DJ last week. Ethan Posick also be a factor there?
Yeah, we've been back and forth with those guys. It was a little bit about matchups and things this week.
What's the value of the practice reps for somebody like Delano Hill if Bradley's getting some time to rest, for the communication and just the scheme?
Yeah, Jen, it was so obvious last week. Delano got this first week of practicing with the first group the whole time, and his confidence was there. The speed of reaction was there. Everything about him, even his play, it carried over to special teams as well. I think he was very comfortable with what was asked of him. So he's a really talented athlete. He's fast. He's strong. He's a cover guy. He's a good hitter. All of that, that hasn't showed up as much as it did so obviously last week to us in the plays that he had. So with the opportunity again starting out the week with Bradley, being quiet, it gives him another turnaround to come back and add and build on that. So we're confident that he can do a nice job for us, and he's certainly physical and ready to make the plays that we're calling on. So.
It's only been like a month since you've seen the Rams. They look any different? They changed at all?
They haven't changed much. A couple guys in and out of the lineup, that have been banged up. But other than that, they're on a roll. They're staying with their stuff on both sides of the football. I don't see why they would come upon any reason to change anything right now. They're pretty hot.
Did you see anything noticeable from the addition of Dante Fowler last week?
Yeah, he's flashy. Yeah, he's got good speed and he's flashing off the edge. He had a couple good rushes, had a couple good plays and chasing in the running game too. He looked good. They didn't play him extensively. I would think that we'll see more of him.
Sorry. We've talked about Marcavius Mingo and what he's done as a linebacker. Has his special teams play surprised you at all with some of those?
Yeah, he's the leading point getter and tackler and all that on special teams. He's been the lead dog out there. He's been great. That's not a surprise because he's been good in the past. But for us to see that consistency that he's shown, it's just it's a big deal to us. And he's also played a ton on defense too, in multiple spots. He's been a tremendous pickup for us. So maybe, when we talked to him in recruiting him, we talked about that we thought he could play 4 teams positions. We thought he could play on base defense as well as in nickel, and talked about playing that much football. He was so assuring that he said, I don't get tired. I can play. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And he's been that way. He has had really consistent intensity and effort when he's playing for us.
Get concerned at all about Carson's durability, and you have to kind of start managing his carries a little more just because of where he's going?
Well, he's the soft tissue thing's kind of hanging with him a little bit. This hip thing is still kind of there. And we got to wait and see how it comes out at the end of the week. So those are concerns, and so the managing of the running back who's getting the big load of plays is always in our mentality. And so that means that Wednesday, Thursday, you got to figure out how long does it take him to recover from the game, and we've been tuned into that forever. So that's not new for us, but it is a concern just to keep him ready to be out there because he made it back last week, but couldn't hold it. Couldn't stay. He tightened back up. So we'll have to see how that goes this week.
I know you've already addressed this. I'm sorry for asking again, but the hip injury that Carson has, was last week the first time that popped up, or had he dealt with it earlier this season?
He had something different. It wasn't the same. It was a different. I think it was his groin or something was different before.
What stood out about the Saints' effectiveness in the offense against
Brees
Rams?
and Kamara, they were great. Drew Brees is having a ridiculous season. He is just on everything. Made a lot of tough throws. Stayed on the aggressive side of it. They're still ripping the ball down the field late in the game when they were ahead. And, the Rams came roaring back to get it to 35s, and then they just kept going after it again. Took him down for a field goal. Took him down for the big score. He's just been fantastic. There's some of the older quarterbacks in the leagues, the most experienced guys, are having some of the best years they've ever had, and it's incredible. But these guys just keep doing it, and he's on fire.
What do you see differently from your secondary against the Rams this time around?
We have to work with the undercoverage better than we did. We gave up some stuff that they dumped off and made a lot of yards after the catch, and a couple of those were tackles, but just deployment and stuff. We need to work better with our guys. We rushed quite a bit with 5 guys last time we played them, and we just need when that happens, you just got to cover down a little bit better than we did. So we have to clean that up.
Steph, how much can someone with KJ's experience help in that element of the passing game?
And there's no question he's going to help us. He just understands the principles that are necessary in this game because of the play passes and the things they do. He's extraordinarily equipped to take care of some of those plays that a lot of players aren't able to make. So we're hoping that'll come through for us, and he'll be a big factor.
Did things get closer out with Bruce Irvin? Did you guys?
He wanted to go home. Couldn't do that for him. He's from Atlanta, I couldn't make it Atlanta.
If Delano ends up having to start for Bradley this week, that's all 3 of your secondary draft picks from a year ago would be in your starting lineup. How have you seen those 3 guys kind of develop over a year and a half to the point that they are now, and what that means for you guys?
Well, I was just talking about Delano and the other guys that have been doing it. Cedric's playing good football. Obviously, Shaq has been a stud guy for us. To see Delano look like he looked last week was really what we had hoped for. But that's just one game. He's got to come back and show consistency and all of that. So we'll reserve a little bit of the accolades here. But it's a marvelous statement, and throw Trey into that too. He's this year's draft pick. That's pretty good findings, by the personnel guys.
You still get jacked up to go back to the Coliseum, or is you kind of over that a little bit?
Collie's a good place. Yeah, a lot of good memories there. Great Olympics.
Nico Thorpe, what's going on with him?
Almost made it. Nico pulled his groin in practice a couple weeks ago, and he's still working his way back. He did like with a lot of times guys will just get a tweak. He actually pulled it, so it's been a couple weeks already. He may have a couple more weeks before he gets back.
With the receiving cores you've seen since the Rams.
That's 3 head bobs so far.
Yeah,
What's that?
with the receiving cores you've seen since the Rams, the Chargers, Lions, your secondary a little more battle tested in the past few weeks?
Well, we better get there. This group is fantastic. All 3 guys got almost 40 catches, or I think Cup's got 37 catches or whatever, but that's only because he hasn't been playing. And Cooks is 40-something, and Robert's got 51, I think it is. So you don't know where the ball's going. They have great choices, and those guys are fantastic. So add them to the guys we've been seeing. Yeah, we're just kind of getting warmed up. We got a long haul for big-time quarterbacks and receivers.
Can I ask a really quick clarifying question?
Absolutely.
You sounded a bit more optimistic about Pfluger's injury earlier this week, said he was otherwise fine. Is he trending to play, or are you guys just kind of waiting to see?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to go to trending. I don't know where that leads me. But he did come back feeling a little more sore today. Yeah. And so we just got to take care of him, make sure that we don't push him back too soon. I don't know if that's trending or not. I can't tell. Okay.
Thank you.